Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing okay. Now in this episode I am heading hopefully for a dive at Rhossili, but I've got about a 40-minute journey to get on with now, so I'm going to crack on now. So yeah, heading to Rhossili. It's got a bit of... Oh, just shut up. Made it to Rhossili, but my plan today is not actually to dive at Rhossili, which is over that way. I want to dive over this side of the headland. It looks like we've got lovely conditions. We're just coming up to high tide now, so I'm going to grab the kit, head down. We've got a pretty long walk, should be about 30 to 35 minute walk. And then we'll kit up and get in the water. Parking, 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 come on. Go, pay and park. Oh, work yesterday, come on. National back shirting now, really struggling. So made it to sort of my point of entry, which is pretty much here. I'm just trying to work out the best way to get in because I don't really want to walk over all these rocks with all the kit. It's just not much fun. But I think I'm going to aim for about here and then basically just scan all of this stuff along here and try and stay clear of the currents. This is a pretty cool spot. Is that a seal? I think that's a seal. I think that's a seal. Was it a person? How am I going to get down? That way. It's a seal! That is a seal! Hang on, let me get my phone out. I'm going diving with seals today, people. That's not going to be fun. Jesus Christ. That scares the shit out of me. That's a seal. 100%. There he is. Oh, amazing. Right, well, we're going to go say hello to our little friend. Whether he will join me for a swim or whether he will try and eat me. But I'm going to dump this kit, go say hello. He's just chilling. He is just chilling. Oh, those rocks will do. This is going to be a hell of a walk out on the way back. Then, right, this is me. Let's go say. He's just sunbathing. Uh-oh. That was my Red Bull can. Pick that up. Okay. Right. Right, let's go say hello. You can absolutely destroy these socks. Hello. Hello. Debating what to do because they've been in the water for quite a while now, and I can't go out too far because there's a current which is taking me basically away from the beach, so I don't want to go out too far, but there's no fish in here at all. I've just seen loads of dogfish and that's it, and a few tiny pollock, so I don't know, I might call it a day and just enjoy the rest of the beach. Again, I don't really know what to do, so, but I think the idea isn't great, so. So I'm pretty much at the end of my dive, but I'm going to let this spider crab go because it's not a giant, and I've only got one, which isn't really enough to make a meal with spider crab. So I'm going to let him go, and then I'm going to pack up shop here and find something else to do. So back in from the dive, obviously no fish, and I let that spider crab go. Bit of a shame, but still lovely conditions, nice clear water, really good fun just to play around with those dogfish as well. So I'm back in from the dive, obviously, and I know obviously I didn't catch anything and I let that spider crab go, but I thought it's probably be quite a good opportunity to sort of explain to you guys the kit that I use sort of for spearfishing in the summer. So I'll show you my full set of kit, everything I use, how I use it, how I set it up and all that kind of stuff. So we'll start with the wetsuit. So this is a two-piece open cell wetsuit. This specific one is called a Cressy Tranquea. It's a 5mm wetsuit. The top half is over there, but you can see it's got this nice little camo pattern on it, which works very well with the sort of kelp that you get in the UK. But on the inside of this wetsuit, you can see it's open cell. That means the neoprene doesn't have a cover on it, essentially. But that means you need to lube the wetsuit up before you get in, because otherwise it will rip your hairs out and you might actually tear the inside of this suit, because it's very delicate when it's dry. So that's the wetsuit I use. So obviously I run that in two pieces, the top half and the bottom half, and then staying with the neoprene, obviously gloves are really important. These are just some Salvamar Crypsis gloves. These are probably the best ones I've used so far. I've gone through probably 4 pairs of gloves since I started diving, and so far these have been the best. They have torn a bit, but realistically you shouldn't expect gloves to last more than 1 season. I think these might get 2 seasons out of them, but socks and other bits like that, they don't really last more than a season. But these are the 5mm ones, and the design's really good. It matches the sort of barnacles and stuff under the water really well, so it's great. Love these gloves. Good buy. They're only about 25-30 quid. And then between the gloves and the wetsuit I have a dive watch. Now I can't exactly remember which one this is. I think it might be called the SEAC Partner. But essentially this is just a free diving computer, so you can change the modes on it. So that will be dive mode, that's what I keep it in when I'm in the water, and it can tell you everything from your depth to your dive time, your surface time, even the water temperature. And basically this is just a really handy tool to have, so that I know that I'm resting for long enough on the surface, whilst also I can find out how long I dive, but most importantly I know the time, because when I'm going out for a dive I let a family member or someone else know, if I'm diving by myself, where I am and what time I'm expected to be back. And that means I can keep track of the time, so I know, oh, I've told them I'm going to be out of the water at 4 o'clock, so then I can be out of the water at 4 o'clock, give them a call and tell them I'm safe. Otherwise it's their job to call the Coast Guard, because if I haven't called them in time, then there might have been an issue. So watch, super important, very good piece of kit. This was about £90, so a bit more expensive in terms of the other pieces of kit I got, but well worth the investment. Aside from that, I have a weight belt. So this is pretty simple. This is just a, I think, silicone or just a rubber weight belt, so it's slightly stretchy, which means it's more comfortable, and it can move as your diaphragm compresses and decompresses with how deep in the water you go. On that, because I'm only diving shallow at the moment, I have 5 kilos of weight on it, and I also have a little clip here which I attach my float line to. So that's weight. Moving onwards, we have mask and snorkel. So this mask is basically just the Cressy action cam mask, and that means it's got the action camera mount, so I can put my GoPro on it. If I'm honest, the mask is pretty poor. It's not very comfortable at all. I find it presses here and here, so I think it's a tad small for my face potentially. But it was only 30 quid, so you can't really complain. But the only other issue with this, if you're thinking about buying it, is the GoPro mount can't use a normal sort of, I guess you call it like the screw for the GoPro thing. It's this bolt which you need an Allen key for, which is just super annoying. I don't know why they didn't just extend this slightly so you could use a normal GoPro thing. So again, not the greatest mask, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you are looking for a super cheap mask with an action cam mount, then you can't really go wrong for 30 quid. Snorkel, this is just a Spetian snorkel, not really sure. I've used a few snorkels before, some with the valves. I don't like the valve, I'm not really sure why, I just don't. So I just like the plain sort of tube snorkel, and this snorkel was a tenner, mask was 30 quid, so there's 40 quid there. So cheapish setup. Snorkels I don't think matter too much, but masks are obviously a bit important, so I will be upgrading that at some point. Aside from that, I have these fins. These are SEAC Shouts. These are pretty much the cheapest freediving fins you can get. They're about £40. They're super hard wearing, they're made of plastic, they're not very high performance at all. You get what you pay for 40 quid. But I've had these since I started out for the past 4 years. They've done alright. I will at some point upgrade some carbon fins, but I don't really need them yet because I'm not that good at diving. But at some point I'll have a bit of money and I want to spend it. So fins, again, I mean, if you're starting out, they're perfect for that, if you're getting in spearfishing. But other than that, you will soon outdive the ability in these fins, and they're pretty stiff and you get pretty tired using them, so they're not great, and also they're pretty heavy. So eventually I will be getting some carbon ones, but I need to save some money first. And then obviously when I'm wearing the fins, I also wear socks. You can get away with any old socks with spearfishing. These are again open cell on the inside, wetsuit socks. These are 5mm. Nothing really much to say about socks. What I do like actually though is that the seam runs around the side of the toe, not along the front, because that can sometimes rub and be quite painful if there's a seam coming up here. But you know, they're decent enough for what I need them for. Now moving on to sort of more bigger pieces of kit. Obviously we have a float here and a gun. Hang on a sec, let me take the gun off. So, gun. I use a Cressy Cherokee 90. The 90 stands for 90cm barrel, so from here to here is 90 centimeters, and I run that with two 14mm bands, and these have got articulated wishbones on. It's a 6.5mm shaft spear that runs a 1.5mm Dyneema to a reel with probably 25-30 meters of 1.5 Dyneema on it as well. What have I got to say about the gun? For the UK, 90cm gun, probably a bit bold. I think I realistically need a 75 centimetre, especially since I've been diving here in Wales a lot and the water just isn't that clear at all. So definitely probably a 75 would have been a bit better, but it's great because when you have got clear water you do get the extra range from the 90, and it's worked fine for me now so far, but I think a 75 is on the shopping cart for sure. So this is pretty all standard stuff. It's stainless steel, all mechanisms in here so they don't rust. It's called a rail gun, which means that it runs a rail the whole length of the barrel so that the spear is supported the whole length of the barrel. Now, Cressy sell this with the original 14mm revolver with this articulated wishbone here, and then you've got space on the muzzle to put another band on, which I have done because I have found that the power just isn't really there with a 14mm band, so I run 2. However, this is a notched spear, not a what's called a shark fin spear, which means these notches go in there, but as a result of that, this articulated wishbone from the top rubber ends up damaging the bottom rubber. So I'm going through rubbers pretty quickly because of the wishbones. So essentially what I kind of need to do is get what's called a shark fin spear so I can run Dyneema wishbones, which are far less abrasive on the rubbers, and then this gun would probably be bomber. I don't think the reel is entirely necessary, but the reason why I've got it is because I run my float clipped to myself because I dive alone quite a lot. And then that means that if I shoot something or my spear gets stuck, I let out the line to float the gun up. Typically what you can do is attach the float to your gun, so you know you can always let go of the gun if something happens, but I don't do that because I dive alone. I attach the float to myself, so if something awful happens and I end up drowning, whatever, the Coast Guard can find my float and my body will be attached to the end of it, which is fine. That's how I want to run it, but obviously that should hopefully never happen. Touch wood. That's a rock. But yeah, fantastic. Good piece of kit, dead chuffed with it. Now this gun I think retails for about 110, 120 pounds. The extra rubber's about 15, wishbone 10, reel was probably all in 15 with the Dyneema as well. So I'm probably running about 130, 140 pounds setup here, which is sort of getting into the more expensive end of guns, but it's been fantastic, super accurate, and love it. But obviously I love kit as well, so I want to buy more. Right, float. So the float is sort of where all the magic happens really, because this is where I carry most of my kit down to the water, and obviously where I'm carrying all my kit when I'm out to sea. So this is a SEAC Seamate. This float retails for about £55, and essentially you've got one air bladder here, one air bladder here, and one in the middle as well. On here you also have space, a little bit of space in there for storage. I carry with me, sorry, I've got everything clipped up, I'm not very prepared for this show and tell. Right, so within here I have attached to a little keychain essentially a whistle for obviously attracting attention if I ever need to, and then I also have 2 waterproof phone cases, one for my phone and one for my car keys, because typically I'll get ready at the car or the van, whatever, lock it, and then take the phone and car keys out with me in these, and then they just stuff in there as well. Also on here I carry a catch bag. I don't know which catch bag this is, I'm sorry, it was one of the cheapest ones on the internet. It was about a tenner. Nothing really to say about this except it's broken, so it doesn't close, so I have to use a little carabiner like that to keep it shut, because I haven't got around to buying a new one yet. So yeah, so basically I run my net on top when I'm swimming out like this so that there isn't too much drag underneath the float. The float has a little obviously diver marker for boats, which is super important. And then on each side you've got these straps which you can attach a gun to. Now I won't lie, these straps are pretty weak. You can see that here my Velcro is starting to go. So that it's not the best made float in the world, but for 50 quid, considering sort of a standard float you'd get that you can't lie on essentially, they're about 20-30 quid. This is about 50 quid, and it just means that you can prop yourself out of the water a bit more, kind of rest your body on it, and so it makes the swimming a bit easier. Also, what you can do is if a wave's coming in and you can paddle in, you can almost ride this like a bodyboard into the shore again, which is great fun. So in my bag I have a few more things obviously I take with me. I have a knife. I either keep this on my leg or up here on my bicep so it's easy to grab. And this one, it's a Siak dive knife. I don't know the full name of it. It was probably about 15 quid. But the two grey bits here push in and the knife comes out. You've got a serrated edge here, which is pretty sharp, and then a decent edge there, and it's pretty much just a standard knife, nothing too special. Also in here I carry obviously water. There's some float line just loose in there, and last but not least I have a torch. This is a Cressy Lumia. It's about £30. Got it for a birthday present. Really decent. What I have noticed though is sometimes I come back to it after leaving it for a while and the batteries have gone dead, so I don't know if there's a drain or if it just accidentally turns on and off in my bag or not. But the torch has been perfect. It's got two settings on it, sort of like a dim setting and a brighter setting. I just keep it on the dim one usually, and it's been fantastic for what I need it for. So that is pretty much my full set of kit. What I do also actually do is underneath my float I have two straps here, which means I can wear it like a backpack, so I can pretty much shove any of my loose bits, gloves, socks, whatever, in there, and then I can put my fins in there as well, tack that on there, put the gun on there, and I can carry the whole lot with my weight belt around my waist down to the sea with my wetsuit on and not have to carry anything in my hands, and they can be free to grab rocks and whatnot. But that's my full set of kit. I do have more at home. I do have like another wetsuit that's thicker, different gloves and stuff like that, but that is pretty much my full set of kit. Hope that was interesting. Not really sure what this video is going to be yet. I guess a dive insight to my spearfishing kit. And another piece of kit that isn't spearfishing related directly is this watch. This is a Casio G-Shock GBX 100, and I love it. It's actually kind of a surfing watch, I think, from G-Shock, but essentially what it can do, I'm not sure how well this will show up, but it shows you the tide times, so you can set it on your phone to any sort of, well, your local area. Obviously I'm in Swansea really, so I keep it on Swansea, and that just shows me essentially sunrise, sunset, the tide, so where we are in the tide, whether it's coming in, going out, and how high it's going to be at high or how low it's going to be at low, and then you get to see if it's like a big spring tide or if it's a small tide, and stuff like that. And obviously it's got all the time zones and everything else. It also does your step counts, and this is fab. So I always wear this when I'm going on approaches to seaside adventures, whatever it may be. Just super handy to have the tide table on your wrist essentially, so you can come up and you can see like, oh, water looks good, tide's coming in, tide's going out, whatever. So this is a fantastic piece of kit. About £160, got it for a birthday, but well worth the money. And that's pretty much everything I have. I also have this mare's bag. This is a big waterproof bag. Nothing too much to say about this. It is a spearfishing one. It has got these massive pockets here which can obviously fit fins in, so I usually put two fins in one side, a gun in the other, and it all ties together. Watch out though if you are looking to buy this. It was about 55 quid, but these clips break pretty easily, so I just run two carabiners from here, roll them up, and then click those together. Pretty same sort of idea. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do for spearfishing. I just shove everything in the bag like this, or on the float, walk it down to the beach, head out, and don't catch any fish, it would seem. Right, I think I'll cut that there. Here you can see how I carry my stuff. I've got my mare's bag here, gun in one side, two fins in the other, backpack here, and then attached to that, hooked over the fins, and there on the shoulder straps of this is my float. But this thing weighs about, like, getting on for 15-20 kilos, and I've got a mega hike out of here. So I will see you back at the van when I've lost all my energy. Oh god, this is gonna suck. Oh my god, this is gonna suck. Okay. Oh, there's the seal. Don't know if you can make that out, but he's there. Right. Home time. Oh. Bloody hell. Oh. Bloody hell, I was only there. Okay, I'm back. Absolutely written off. I just have a quick bit of lunch, some water, probably an ice cream, and then I'm going to go back down and sunbathe on some of the rocks down there. Not all the way down, halfway, or maybe go to the beach. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I need a rest first.
You say you like the wind blowing through your hair. Well, come on, roll with me till the sun goes down. Texas sun. Say you wanna hit the highway while the engine roars. Well, come on, roll with me till the sun goes down.